What's going on, guys? Alex here with TFL Bike. I'm here in LA and you guys have been asking for some real motorcycles with some real power. I've got you covered. Today we're taking a look at this, the 2021 Ducati Panigale V2. Let's take a look. Now clearly the Panigale V2 is a full-on sport bike. This is what you would want to take to the track if you wanted an awesome track day, or if you wanted to, just ride really aggressively in the canyons or do whatever you want with it. But this is not the full-fledged Panigale, the Panigale V4 that you're used to seeing in MotoGP and, the super famous one. This is the V2, it's a V-twin, so it's a little bit narrower and it's a little bit lighter. The seat height on this is 33.1 inches and the bike only weighs 441 pounds full of gas. So for a really skinny and lightweight dude like myself, this is much more confidence inspiring, easier to get my feet down on the ground, easier to throw around than the full-fledged Panigale V4, and I'm really digging that.
All right, let's jump on the Panigale V2, full-on race position. I am leaned way forward, feet are super high up, and my legs are way kicked back, but let's check this out. That's Case right there on a Multistrada V4, which we will also have a video on in case you're interested, so definitely want to check that one out. I will say, I do feel like a complete badass on this bike. It has the look, and sometimes when you're riding a motorcycle, you care about the look a lot, and if you're into looks, this thing will do it for you.
Powering this Panigale is this, the 955cc 90-degree V-twin. They call it their Super Quadro engine. It's linked to a 6-speed manual transmission, of course, quick shifter up and down so you can get that auto blipping, and it makes 155 horsepower and 76.7 foot-pounds of torque. So no slouch for power, that's for sure. This bike accelerates pretty quickly, so to get you down to a stop, you need some beefy brakes, and this bike has it. Up front, you're looking at dual 320mm discs with all Brembo components, and you get a pretty good look at the rear brake disc there since you don't have the swing arm over here on the right side. That's a single 245mm disc, and you have cornering ABS on both the front and back wheel.
All right, let's see what kind of merging power this has. Getting onto the freeway right here. Give it a little bit of the beans. Oh yeah. Definitely has a really deep, growly sound to it. I love that. Yeah, this is definitely not a quiet bike at all. I like that though. It sounds really good.
That is pretty loud for a stock exhaust. I really like the sound this bike makes. Most bikes I really think come too quiet and you need to rip the exhaust off and put something else aftermarket. This sounds really good the way it comes from the factory. Suspension wise up front, you're looking at Showa forks and they are fully adjustable. Not electronically adjustable, you still got to pull out your flatheads, but good to see fully adjustable suspension. And then over here on the left side of the bike for rear suspension, you've got a fully adjustable Sachs unit. On the left side of the bike, that's a classic Ducati thing. We'll get to that in a sec. And this yellow shock spring, that's also a classic Ducati thing. But the reason it's hanging out here on the left side is because we have a single-sided swing arm. This bike replaces the Ducati 959, and that bike had a double-sided swing arm. So really cool that for this 2021 Panigale V2, you actually get a single-sided swing arm, more of the classic Ducati race bike theme that they're sticking to with this. Design-wise, this bike looks awesome. I can't get over the look of it. It basically looks like a smaller version of a Panigale V4, which is an awesome looking bike. So yeah, definitely race-inspired. But the coolest part about this whole bike is the paint scheme. I am in love with this matte white paint scheme, especially with the bright red wheels and kind of these red inserts they did here on the headlights. It just looks awesome, and most Ducatis you see on the road are bright reds. So having this one in white with the yellow shock and the red rims, I just love the look of it. Doesn't get much better than this.
Now ideally, guys, I'd be able to take this to a track. I do enjoy riding on the track, and if you had, let's say, $17,000 to spend on a track bike, this would be one hell of a purchase. Look at that, the dash just switched to black instantly when I went under the overpass. That's pretty cool. But yeah, this would be an excellent track bike. You're definitely going to get a little worn out with it in the city, just hunched over like this all the time, but this thing can definitely perform. I wish I could test that out, and it looks amazing. Definitely is made with some high quality components, and it's just super manageable.
Powering on the Panigale V2, you can see the dash come to life. That's a 4.3-inch TFT with a gas indicator up top and then some dummy lights on either side. It's looking a little small for 2021, I must say. There's some bikes coming out with much bigger displays, but it is a good looking display. They just have to up the size a little bit for it to be really great. And I can actually use this left handlebar control right here to enter into the menu, so just hold it down. And that's how you can switch between different riding modes. So you have the option of street, race, or sport, and that kind of adjusts the parameters for all the different rider aids. And if I exit back out of here, you can see what they are. So electronic brake control, Ducati quick shift, traction control, ABS, and wheelie control. And all of those you can adjust the parameters for in each different riding modes, so that you can really customize it and dial in exactly what you want. There's also a bunch of different parameters you can go through on the bottom. So your odometer, trip computer, your fuel economy average, your speed average, trip time, air temperature. But then if you go into the setting menu, there's a few different things. You can select your riding mode, but one of the coolest parts is the lap timer right there. You can actually turn that on, and then it will track your laps. Basically, you just flick your high beams when you want it to start timing your lap, and you got it built into the dash of your Panigale V2 right there. No need for any sort of external device, just flick the high beams and there you go. The Panigale V2 is a little bit expensive when you look at it next to its competition. You're looking at leader bikes, all the Japanese leader bikes, so the R1, CBR 1000, stuff like that. And this bike right here, as you see it, is $16,795. You can save a couple $100 by going with the red paint scheme versus the white, but I don't think that's a bad deal at all. You are getting more premium components and more premium features in this Panigale V2 versus some of the Japanese competition. And yeah, it's a really good looking bike. It sounds awesome. It's easy to ride, and I've had a blast with it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to head on over to tflbike.com so you don't miss anything in the motorcycle world. We're filming tons of videos out here this week for you guys, so stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the cool bikes we have lined up. I think there's like 13 of them, so yeah, definitely stay tuned. See you in the next one.